Hey, it's Rob from Kickass. We've got another Mini for you guys. One of my subscribers reached out, had a problem with his Mini, so I said, hey, shoot it on up here. We'll take care of it. And that's what you're gonna watch here. He had a noise. I'm gonna figure out that noise and get him fixed up and get him back down the road. Stay tuned.
Yo, girls never get life to the sheep, least nice, but nah, he ain't nice underneath. Got a price on the leash, I don't trust when he speak. Be sounding real spite for them.
And this is a 2010. Let's listen to this one real quick. Can you hear that? You hear it on this side of the car. It's quite bearing sounding. Didn't quite sound as knocky as the other one. This sounds more like a water pump. So we're gonna get in there. We're gonna pull the belt off and see if that noise goes away. That noise goes away. It's most definitely that bearing. Sometimes you can feel the play, but we'll get in there and see what we can find. Oh boy. That axle seal is leaking. And fold it back. Oh, look at that belt. So, new drive belt, definitely. Let's go ahead and yank that tensioner. The fact that this isn't even going back tells me that this tensioner is bad. So this little tension thing, this is like the little ripcord thing for the water pump. You gotta pull it out and then it disengages this guy enough to where that water pump shouldn't spin. So if the noise is gone, it's one of these two because they're gonna stop spinning. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, definitely one of those two. So we're going to do the water pump and the tensioner, and that should fix another noisy Mini. I think I'm just gonna pull the hub, rotor, everything off, caliper, I'll just hang out of the way. Then I have shot at the axle. Anything that's kind of like rusty or older that needs to come off, I have to give a good soaking. Little squirtsies. If you're not familiar with this, this is a penetrating oil. So I figured since I have to get in there, I could take all this up out of my way, get the axle out, then I have a lot of room to get in there to get to the water pump and the tensioner that I need to get off. There's all different kinds. I've used this since I was like, I don't even know. Since I was a wee lad, running around spraying PB Blaster all over things. I'm like, look, it's rusty. It's just spraying it everywhere. It smells kind of good. Get that guy out. Once that's out, we will tackle the water pump. All right, there we go. That's a good angle. Angle to dangle. On this. It's easier to pull that whole thing out. Alright, you can see right through there in that hole, it's a leaking. So we're going to pop that seal out and get a new seal in it. Exhaust is like right in the way. Oh, you can fit there. I know you can fit. Need a different drill. This drill gonna fit. Balls. Of course, my phone rings when I'm under the car. The longest screwdriver ever. Come on. It's such an awkward place to be at. Okay, we got the seal off. Whenever you do seals like this, axle seal, camshaft seal, not that seal, you want to put them next to each other and make sure they're the same. You can see they come with grease or lube on the inside, so it slides on the shaft. Don't wipe that off. And there is a spring in the back of these seals. This is a spring. It's a circular round spring that sits in the seal that holds tension on the rubber. Doesn't magically hold the seal, it's got to have something to hold it. So a little spring back there holds that rubber on the seal. So you don't be leaking. Alright, let's get back to business here. What in the hell? What the hell? What were you thinking? Look right there where the oil pan comes right across the top of the seal. Why is that even there? That's just silly. It overhangs that much. I've never seen this on any vehicle. I've done axle seals on thousands of cars. I have no faith in German engineers. Sorry, all you German engineers out there. So I don't want to try to tilt it in there. Like you can't even get the seal because the oil pan is right there. Jeez. I'm sorry, that's not the oil pan. That's the lower girdle of the engine. Stupid right there. So we're gonna grind that piece off. Okay, got a little more protection. We're just gonna take a piece right here, this tiny little spot. We're gonna grind all this so the seal can fit in there. So what we're gonna do is we're going to put a paper towel in there so nothing can get in there. Look at that, a red plug that I got off the motor from last week. That's why you save those plugs, because they come in handy. What I'm using is this aluminum burr. It's kind of like a leghorn shape. It removes aluminum quite fast. You gotta be careful. Don't want a piece of aluminum in the eye. You can just see that it's all over me. Specks everywhere. This is the one I'm using now. I think I'm going to switch over to this because I want to kind of get in there and kind of cut that piece off, not mess around. This one's good for like rounding. I need more of a cut straight kind of thing. This one's really good. This kit's priceless. One of those tool kits that you get and you're like, wow, I'm glad I bought that one. What is that? You want to twist them while you put them in there. So you don't roll that way. I do like to use this. Yeah, I need a shorter one. Alright. Alright, we've got the new axle seal in. We're going to leave that out for now. Now we can get in here and get to this water pump easier. Alright. Yeah. I'd give them a good couple turns just to get them started, or you can get them with your finger. Do beware if you have those gear wrenches and you decide to slap one of those gear wrenches up on there. What can happen is you can back that gear wrench against the frame and then you're cutting the wrench off. They are useful tools, but think when you use them because those things will get you in some really bad predicaments. Yeah, so I'm gonna get all these screws out. I said belt tensioner like there's a belt on this. I meant the, never mind. Now that I'm thinking about what I said, sheesh. All right, that's 3 bolts. And we can pull this little ripcord guy on the tensioner here. That should come out. And now you want to come out. Let's get this tensioner out first. Oh, there's 3 bolts in the tensioner. Come, Mr. Belty Belts, come off the mini. Come, Mr. Mini Belts, I need your off here. You got it finally. Okay, that's good enough for now. Well, yeah, we need to get to that seal right there. Because it's dirty. It's dirty leaking. We soaked these yesterday with PB Blaster. And you gotta smack it. Yeah, you can see the oil. She's leaking. We've got a leaker. Doing this guy. Alright, right now we're going to drain the coolant too. So we're going to get those guys out. Make sure you put a pan down here because it's going to purge coolant. All the bolts are out, except for that one's kind of chilling. So we're going to take that final bolt out. This is the part where it can get messy. Oh geez, stuff is happening. Oh, everywhere. Coolant. Run for your life. That's why you buy this big old concrete mixing tub. It caught most of it. Alright, so there we go. You see how tight that bearing is. That was our culprit. We got a new one to go on. Alright, so we got it back on. Oh no, we haven't got it back on. We're about to put it back on. We've got it all cleaned off. That's the step. There's the water pump. So let's put this sucker back on. So you want to make sure it's all cleaned off. Make sure your little O-ring is nicely seated in its little pump. Try not to bump dirt and stuff while you're going up in there. If you have that grease and you're bumping into stuff, it's going to get on that little gasket and it's going to put a dirt on that gasket and it'll leak. So you be very careful. I'm going to go run inside and look up the torque specs on the water pump real quick. So we torque it down to the correct torquage. Put this pump on there. Put the silly pump up on the silly car. One more little pat down tray. Alright. Party at noontime. Full kegs, you ought to go. Find the bolt. Very top. Tippity topper. Oh, she's up there. Oh, and she's in. Twisting and bending. You're always in different positions in your hands and get in there. Right now I'm doing the fingertip method. You can just spin a bolt like that with 2 fingers. You can't get to one. You can't get your hand around it like this. So you got to like, yeah. But since there's no brake caliper and rotor right here and hub and axle, it's not that bad. All right. Whew. Oh, you gotta Take a break. Okay, we've got the seal. This is like a little tapered thingamabobby that helps this stretch apart. European cars have this for some reason. They don't use the spring inside the seal. They use this silly thing that spreads this type of, it's a type of rubbery plastic. I don't know exactly. If you guys know what that's made out of for some odd reason in the comments, let me know. But it's not like the other one where it's spring. This one you actually have to like let sit for a while for it to like, it needs, I know the ones do tell you to wait for a certain amount of time. This one doesn't say it. I knew working with BMWs, there are ones you have to let sit for like 24 hours or some silliness like that. It's a very delicate type of seal that's got to ramp up over this to get around the seal. It's weird. It's weird. Do a final little wipe around because I still see some schmutz in there. So the plastic kind of slides onto the crank. That helps it transition into that thing. So I like to get that on there good ways. And then with equal pressure, you want to kind of slide her in. All the way around. Scoot your back there. Biscuits. This to bottom out on, there's always usually a finished machine surface by the seal, usually like this, usually with axles and cranks, and you just kind of push this around. I've always used these. They've worked pretty good because they can always fit into spots and they tend not to mar it up. So pull that out and you feel and see if it's flush. The old finger slide feels good. Maybe one more around the world. You can even come in here and do a quick little tippity tappity tuberoo scoop. You can just, I don't get too crazy smacking. See what I can. That's how you do that. Voila! Alright, while we have that off still, we are going to slide that tensioner up in there, get the water pump pulley on there, put the crank pulley back on there, and put the new drive belt that we got on there. So, okay. We've got the tensioner on there. Very nice. I pulled the little ripcord jobby right there, and it's got like a little hookup on it. You can see this here. I'll show you the one out of the car. How about that? That'll be easier. Where did it go? Oh, I threw it over here. Oh, yeah. But it's got a service position where you put it up here, and there's a little hole cut in the tab right there. So to undo it, you just pull it down, let it go, and then push it back in. So right now it's like that, so it's got the slack off here. So I can put the other pulley back on and put the water pump pulley on. And then we'll put the belt on, and then once the belt's on and all that's on there, we can pull that off. Let's get the water pump pulley on there. I'm just gonna put the pulley on. You don't need to see that right now. Let me put it on real quick. Hold on.
A few moments later.
Alright, I went ahead and slapped that belt on there. We got the new pulley on there. Well, we're gonna put this axle and hub back in. Stay. This will be fun. Oh, that's one big piece. Loctite on these brizzies. Alright, I'm going to put this fender liner back in here and get this some gun buttoned up. Your cover bits back here. Get your sheets on the bit. coming on down. Coolant. European vehicles. Make sure when you're putting coolant into your vehicle that you put the right coolant. And let me tell you why. These are cast iron blocks. And if you put green coolant or the wrong coolant here, it doesn't have the right metal additives, it will rust. It'll rust from the inside, it'll rust everything in your engine. So manufacturers use certain metals and the coolant protects those certain metals. So if you use the wrong coolant, you're not protecting the right metal. So make sure you use the right coolant. Like Peak, for that peak performance. Oh yeah, nothing like the smell of glycol in the morning. My magic way to get coolant flowing. A little pour and push. Once you start pushing it, you'll get a siphon going and it'll start sucking it in there. Look at that. The pressure tester, you can also push it in there, which I'm doing right now. Bubbly sound. Alright, that finishes up another Mini for the books. We ended up finding more noise, like so when it first came in it had that really horrible bearing noise. Once we fixed that one, there was still a little bit of a bearing noise coming from the AC pulley. So I went ahead and slapped a pulley and a clutch on there real quick. Now she's whisper quiet. So now she's good to go. So sometimes you can have several bearing noises that sound like one big one. And you get rid of one and it goes, but you can see how nice and, oh yeah. No noise now. But yeah, noise free. Sounds good. Gave her a little bit of a bath. Took her on a test drive. It's really good. Drives nice. The gentleman will be here pretty soon to pick it up. You'll be in a video, so you'll be in a video right now. I'll take a picture of you driving out. I appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys have a safe drive. Yeah, I was playing with your seat too. I had to move it. My mom will talk forever.
You want to be in the video too?
Yeah, she'll be there. All right.
Alrighty. Thanks again.
You're welcome. Have a Mini. Going down the road. My mom's giving the old farewell too.